And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Corsicana Tiger Stadium, where the Sulphur Springs WildCats will be taking on the Corsicana Tigers here in about 10 minutes. It's homecoming for the Corsicana Tigers, so we may have a little delay in the kickoff, and we're not sure about the festivities that they have planned. But we have a big game tonight, Don, and I know Don wants to get right to the lineup. But before that, I want to remind everyone that J. Hodge Chevrolet gave us a nice, beautiful Tahoe to drive down here on our 2-hour drive coming to Corsicana. We took the scenic route.
Yep.
And so we always appreciate Bill Owens and J. Hodge Chevrolet for sending that. They're the kickoff sponsor for tonight's game, and they're also the home of the $100 discount per touchdown that the Wildcats score. So any touchdown that the Wildcats score tonight will count for $100 off any new or used vehicle on the lot tomorrow at J. Hodge Chevrolet. So if we don't work that into the game tonight, I certainly wanted to talk about it now, Don.
All right.
So, of course, J. Hodge Chevrolet will be our kickoff sponsor as the game gets started here in a few minutes. But right now, we're going to start off with the lineup for tonight's game. And, Don, are we going to start with the Tigers or the Wildcats tonight?
Well, like we always do, we start with the offense of the opposition with Corsicana Tigers offense. Their quarterback is Solomon James, sophomore. Running back, Day Daniels, sophomore. And running back, Anthony Young, sophomore. He's a little trend here.
Anthony Young.
Wide receivers, Quay Chambers, also Lane Fuentes, and George Foster. Tight end is Colby Kincaid. And then across the offensive line for the Tigers, at left tackle is Kalian Chambers. Left guard is Cam McFadden. The center is Juan Andretti. Right guard is Nathan Simmons. And the right tackle is Verson Davis. That's Corsicana on offense. Now let's look at Wildcats on defense with their 3-4 base. Nose guard is Alex Rodriguez. The defensive tackles, DeAndre Peoples and also Cameron Coffert. Inside linebackers, Ryan Carrillo and Eleazar Brenna. And on the outside, Aiden Walker and also Colin Wade. The safeties are Chase Haney and Cordarian Bull Turner. And on the corners, Dominique Sims and also Dietrich Clayton. Wildcats on offense. Now we look at the Corsicana defense. And again, they also base in a 3-4. Big nose guard, Bracian Parrish. The defensive ends are Jacob Lopez and Ricardo Olvera. Inside linebackers, Grant Harrison, and a real good one, Tyler Farmer. And on the outside, a real good one, Eric Dixon, and also Tanner Kidd.
Not Eric Dickerson.
No.
Eric Dixon. That's going to be tough for us to remember. But
well, I'm 1 for 1.
Right.
On the corners, we have Jabraylon Douglas and also Dylan Slade. And the safeties are Drew Denbo and also Shamar Smith. So that is Corsicana on defense. Now the Wildcats on offense. Going across the offensive line, left tackle Chandler Leo. Left guard Ryan Hammonds. The center is Radon McCormick. Right guard is Alfredo Olavida. And right tackle is Giovanni Pisano. Quarterback Caden Wallace. Starting running back Decorian Chalk Sims. The inside receivers Bryant Sanchez and Chase Haney. And on the outside, Noe Ponce and Weston Fields. And before we go any further, as Corsicana now coming out onto the field, we want to give you tonight's officials, and they are from the Tyler football chapter. Right. And our referee tonight is Wesley Hall. The umpire is Vincent Williams. Head linesman is Jeremy Gunnels. The line judge is Kelly Talent. And the back judge is Jamal Batee. And those we appreciate Tyler Chapter for sharing that with us. And we look forward to them having a good ball game tonight for both teams. So, Chad?
And here comes the Wildcats out on the field as they're welcomed by the Blue Blazes and the cheerleaders. And looks like we have the presentation of colors that may take place here right after this. They're already down on the side of the field. So the Wildcats have entered the field and ready to play.
Chad, a lot of excitement the last time the Wildcats were here.
Right.
Home and home schedule way back when. I think it was 12 and 13. And the Wildcats won on this field against Corsicana, 77-65.
One of the highest scoring games in Wildcat history. Not the highest scoring game, I don't think. But
well, the highest one was against Lone Oak, 86 points in an 86-0 win. And I'd be surprised to learn if there was anybody out there that remembers that one.
Right, that's going to be a long time ago when we played Lone Oak. It sure is. It looks like the... here comes the presentation of colors. It looks like they're about to come out for the coin toss. A small choir compared to what we had at our last game when we had 200 or 300 of choir members or singing the national anthem at that wonderful presentation that the Sulphur Springs Independent School District Fine Arts Department had put on for.
Here are our captains, Chad.
Go ahead.
We have Jared Ratliff, center. Also Aiden Walker and Eleazar Brenna.
Right.
And also Zach T-Meyer.
There we go.
See, I can spot one Corsicana guy from
they've
here.
got
Farmer.
Number 42, 15.
Let's see. 15 would be Drew Denbo.
25.
25 is Eric Dixon.
90 and number 1.
90 is Jacob Lopez, and number 1 is Lane Fuentes. Somebody has won and deferred.
Yeah, that was Corsicana, it looked like.
they know an onside kick's coming anyway.
That's right.
And, somebody mentioned last week, it may have been you, Chad, kind of telling me that I should do my research a little bit so I'd know how many we've tried and how many that we've successfully covered.
Right.
And the head coach, Al Wasson, provided the information unsolicited. He goes, you guys have tried 16 onside kicks and you've recovered 11.
There you go.
I could only say, wow.
Yeah, I'm not set up to track that stat, but I should have been if I'd known better. And as you can probably tell, we have a very limited ref mic tonight. It's kind of blended in with our crowd mic, which is just not as quite the quality as what we're used to. So we'll be trying to adjust that as we go. And the Wildcats tonight will be moving left to right here in this first quarter. They will receive the kickoff for the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff of the game.
Ethan Rodriguez will be kicking off. He does the extra point kicks. And back for the Wildcats.
Our usual guys.
Caden Davis, who's actually moved over a little bit more to the slot in case they kick short.
Right.
And the kick will be kind of pooched down toward Davis. And he buffed it and then goes back and falls on it at the 15-yard line. And then looked like 20 Corsicana guys came by and piled on top as they were going by. First down and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 15. So that was a very effective kick for Corsicana in their bright blue. We'll do the fashion report for our radio audience.
Right.
Bright
Rhonda
blue
loves
uniforms with Rhonda loves this?
Yeah, Rhonda loves this.
Oh,
we talk about the uniforms.
Definitely love the fashion report. Blue uniforms, white helmets, and yellow numerals for Corsicana. Wildcats in the white uniforms. And here's back to Jaden Wallace. His pass on the flat is caught across the 15-yard line on the catch for the Wildcats.
Number 2.
That is Davis on the catch, and he will move it forward about 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7 for the Wildcats from their own 18-yard line after the 3-yard completion. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and now Wallace will throw out to the right. The ball is caught and across the 20-yard line and then dragged down at the 21. I think that's Weston Fields.
It is, number 16.
Number 16, and he moves to the 21-yard line. And boy, isn't that a bright,
yes, I was going to talk about the down marker, but the plays are going so fast. Already missed the Hootens Hardware first down. It's third down now.
And 4 to go, and it's back to Wallace. He looks and fires the ball incomplete. It was back behind the receiver, which is Zach Tiemeyer.
Yep.
And so the Wildcats 3 and out. And then here comes the punt.
Yep, there's Noe Pons back to punt for the Wildcats. Yeah, they have an electronic down marker. So the fourth down, unfortunately for us right now, is very easy to see all the way across the field.
I thought maybe light was just hitting it. I did not.
No, somebody's got some new batteries in that.
Well, Chad is, I'll tell you, the electronic whiz. And here's Ponce, back to punt for the Wildcats. It's a good snap. He rugbies to the right and boots the ball down the field. And Corsicana's going to let it hit. It takes a good Wildcat hop inside the 40-yard line for Corsicana. Continues to roll down to the 35. And so 35 and 21.
That'll be 44 yards, John.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Right. I've been working on this. I've got a new stat calculator on my spreadsheet.
All right. Well, yeah, it was quicker than me, as you heard Chad get that out before I had the chance. So Corsicana, first down and 10 from their own 35-yard line. And that means in Solomon James, the quarterback for Corsicana will take the snap, and James will take off, and he moves forward just about a yard or 2. Let's call it 2 yards for James. Second down and 8 for Corsicana at the 37-yard line. Good defense on that first play for the Wildcats. You see, I'm checking one starter in particular.
Just about 2 yards on the run there.
I'm going to have to continue to do that. The player did not turn my direction. And here will be a running play for Corsicana. Another good defensive play after a couple of yards.
Number 28.
and that runner is Daniels, and real nice play there by Chase Haney coming up from the safety position as Daniels began to bounce that ball to the outside, and that's what scares Coach Owens. But only 2 yards gained. 3rd down and 6 for the Tigers now from their 39-yard line. And now James back in the shotgun, 2 receivers left and right. The sophomore quarterback will just chunk it downfield. He's looking to pass. He's scrambling back there in the pocket. Now fires the ball down the field. Incomplete. Went through a receiver for Corsicana. Incomplete. And Corsicana is 3 and out. And they will now punt. That was intended for Fuentes. Lane Fuentes, their leading receiver, with 32 catches this year. And punt time for the Tigers. And Haney is back for the Wildcats. And Corsicana getting ready to boot the ball from the 39. Good snap. Kick is well down the field, and Chase Haney coming over. And that ball is going to be down around the 5-yard line. And they will mark it at the 7. So a beautiful punt for Corsicana, and that was a punt of
54 yards. John.
Oh, Chad,
yes, I'm on it.
Your system
it
is
was all
awesome.
that. It was all that math training to Sulphur Springs High School.
That and computers.
That's right.
Let's mark it actually
at the 6 this
so
time.
we have to give them an extra yard on that. So all the way to the 6, and well, now he moved it back to the 7.
Yeah,
so
they're all over the place.
Here they're moving it back and forth. Wildcats from the 7. Here's a snap and a handoff, and Sims has hit inside the 5 and dropped at the 4-yard line as Corsicana. They just kind of came roaring in like a wave, and they drop Sims for a 3-yard loss. 2nd down and 13 for the Wildcats at their own 4. So they have their quarterback in the end zone right now. Here's a snap back to the quarterback, a running play for Sims right up the middle. He gets back across the original line of scrimmage and then up to the 8. So it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Wildcats at their own 8-yard line, deep in their own territory.
8:56 left in the first quarter here. The Wildcats have the ball. It's 0-0.
2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Running back next to Caden Wallace. He takes the snap, fakes to the running back, fires the ball down the field and almost intercepted. It was an incomplete pass out to Bryson Lacey, and Corsicana just almost got a hand on that and get that player coming off the field there on that good defensive play for Corsicana, and that was Shamar Smith. So punt time now for Noe Ponce.
Right. Noe Ponce is way back, almost standing under the goalpost back there.
The line of scrimmage is the 8. Corsicana's punt returners at the 40-yard line of the Wildcats. So let's see how Noe does. It's a good snap, and the kick is on the way. This one comes up short, kind of knuckling down the field, but Corsicana will let it bounce, and it's going to get a fairly decent roll to the 41-yard line, and that is a 51-yard kick.
Well, it's on our 41, I'm afraid. It's going to be a 31-yard kick. 33-yard kick. Yes, I'm sorry.
You know, that's the mistake I made last week. Was the difference between ours and theirs.
Right.
And
well,
so
we were hoping it was going across the 50, but the Tigers in a great field position because they're on the Wildcat 41-yard line.
So the fuzzy math, that's the reason for the fuzzy math. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left for James. And here's a handoff to the running back. And this, once again, is Day Davis.
Number 19,
Daniels, excuse me, Day Daniels, and he will gain 2 yards to the 39. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Wildcats at the 39-yard line. In Wildcats territory, by the way.
Yes.
As Chad established that.
I wasn't going to call you out. You know, I'm not going to tell you.
Well, you need to. That was a.
We have a good reputation going so far.
Blunder. Here's the snap back to James. James steps up, fires the ball down the field. It's caught in a good defensive play. The Wildcats dropped that player. That was Chase Haney on the tackle.
That was actually number 8 on the tackle.
Dietrich Clayton.
And it was number 11 on the reception for the Tigers.
And that
they gave him that forward progress, so he picked up a few yards.
That's George Foster. He is a big touchdown target. The 3rd down and 5 for Corsicana now at the 36-yard line in Wildcats territory. Big play for this Wildcats defense. And once again, James takes a snap. He's looking. Now he fires the ball down the field. It's caught. First down in the secondary. Across the 20 and inside the 15-yard line. And that's caught by
number 5.
That is Clay Chambers on the catch. And first down for Corsicana down at the Wildcats 14. And Chambers and Foster and Fuentes, 3 big targets. And they also like the tight end, Kincaid. But especially those 3, and when they get around the goal, watch Foster. He's a big touchdown guy. James from the shotgun, but Daniels back there near him. Takes a snap, fires the ball down the field, incomplete. The receiver looked like he had it.
Great coverage by the Wildcats. Again, number 8 on the broke up that play. Dietrich Clayton.
So incomplete, second down and 10 from the 14-yard line. For the Corsicana Tigers, they threaten here on their second drive. 7:15 left, first quarter, 0-0. Solomon James, the quarterback, takes the snap, and he'll hand off to Daniels, and he is going to be held a very short yardage down to the 12-yard line. That's a gain of 2, and it's going to be third down. They'll mark it at the 12. They need down to the 4, so 3rd and 8 for Corsicana. And so an incomplete pass and then the 2-yard run.
Big play for the Wildcats coming up here.
Maybe the Wildcats went to school with what Royce City did. They don't have that Royce City defense, but they really stifled Corsicana's running last week.
A little confusion on the Tiger offense there. Somebody running off the field.
James takes the snap, and here's a receiver around. Wildcats were waiting for him, but he raced into the end zone. Fuentes with just raw speed. Wildcats were waiting for him, and he just ran right through him. Touchdown, Corsicana. I believe it was a 12-yard run.
Correct.
And so Fuentes has all of the momentum of the play. The Wildcats had players waiting there, but then he just ran right through them with just speed. Extra point now for Rodriguez. And the snap a little high. The ball down by Rodriguez. The kick is on the way. He's missed several this year, about 3 out of 15, but he got that one up and through. 6:31 left in the first quarter. New score here from Tiger Stadium in Corsicana. It's the Corsicana Tigers 7 and the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 0. Let's take a break and we'll be back in a moment.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, where the Wildcats are down 7-0 and about to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff from the Tigers.
And here is the kick by Rodriguez, and it's coming down toward Davis at the 16-yard line. Across the 20, the 25, Davis across the 30, and finally dragged down at about the 32-yard line. And, Chad, if you want to know the weather in San Diego, I'm sure my brother could text it to us.
Oh,
He's
cool.
listening to us tonight.
Oh, good.
In San Diego.
Well, we knew somebody was listening. That's why the Don and Chad show is still going here.
That's right. I kind of pumped the ratings up a little bit.
Right.
Anybody I can find.
Here comes Hooten's Hardware, first down for the Wildcats. Hooten's Hardware, first down. Hooten's Hardware, Emory, Texas.
First down and 10 from the 32-yard line for the Wildcats. Wallace takes a snap. He fires a pass, and it is caught across the 30, the 35 to the 40, and 45, and across the 50.
Davis.
Oh, was that Davis?
Yes.
And Davis, and he lowered his shoulder. If you watch Doug's video, I hope you got that. Doug usually does. But he just bowled over that last defender before he went out of bounds at the 42 in Corsicana territory.
26-yard run.
And here is a handoff. This will be a short run by Caden Davis. And he's going to be wrapped up the 43-yard line. That's a loss of 1. And it'll be second down and 11 for the Wildcats.
That was another Hooten's Hardware first down. They're going so fast. 4 receivers over here on this side.
Yeah, tempo is something they've increased. 4 receivers to the right, and they will throw to the right. It's caught by Fields, and he was dragged down at the 46-yard line. That completed pass lost 3 yards. So 2 plays by the Wildcats move back 4 yards, and it's going to be third down and 14 for the Wildcats.
Big play.
At the 46-yard line in Corsicana territory. A empty backfield now. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. And Caden Wallace all by his lonesome there. Air Force used to have the lonesome end way out there all by himself.
Here comes a timeout. Looks like by the Tigers.
Corsicana Tigers. 5:18 left here in the first quarter. It's the Corsicana Tigers 7, the Wildcats 0. We'll take a break and we'll be back in a moment.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium. The Wildcats are lined up for 3rd and long.
Yes, 3rd and 14 from the 46 in Corsicana territory. Wallace in the shotgun. Awaiting the snap. Takes the snap. Looking down the field. He throws to the halfback. It's caught by Davis. Davis will move past the original line of scrimmage, but that's about it, as he's going to be stopped around the 42-yard line. That is the original line of scrimmage.
Yep.
4th and 10 for the Wildcats at the Corsicana 42, and it looks like they're going for it here. They have not swung Noe Ponce around to kick, and Wallace is going to go for it. Here's the 4th down and 10.
Sanchez and number 47 on the opposite side there, Don.
Yeah, that's Kylan Wade. He's always a big target. He looks, and he fires incomplete as he tried to get the ball in there to Bryant Sanchez. And the Wildcats go over on downs. And so it'll go back to Corsicana. And, of course, when you roll the dice like that, you sacrifice the field position. And the Corsicana Tigers will now start at their own 42-yard line. They lead 7-0. There's 4:40 left here in the first quarter. And here come the Tigers. And again, Solomon James, a quarterback, young sophomore. Are there any other kind? And back to James, and he'll hand off to the running back, and Davis is moving through. Actually, I may have identified the back. This is Anthony Young, and he fights his way inside the 40 all the way down to the 37-yard line. That was a beautiful, determined run by Young, who is a young sophomore. 1st and 10 for Corsicana at the Wildcats' 37-yard line. So he replaced another running back, Day Daniels, another sophomore. Trip receivers out to the right. And James is looking to the right. Now scrambles out that way, fires the ball down the field, and it is caught. And then the receiver went out of bounds. He does have the first down at the 26-yard line in Wildcats territory. 1st down and 10 for Corsicana.
That was number 1 on the reception.
Line. And that was Fuentes with the catch for Corsicana. And he just went up and got that ball. That's what James, Owens calls it chunking the football. And he just chunked it, and Fuentes went up and got it. So here's the Tigers on a running play now, and straight ahead with good effect. Daniels had trouble running in there, but this Anthony Young all the way down to the 19-yard line, and that is a gain of 6 or 7 or 8. They moved it to the 18-yard line.
Don't they?
Yeah, I just kept adjusting. 2nd and 2, and timeout for the Wildcats. 3:28 left in the first quarter. Corsicana 7, the Wildcats 0. We'll take a break here and back in a moment.
And welcome back to Corsicana Tiger Stadium, Corsicana, Texas, where the Wildcats are down 7-0. 3:28 left in the first quarter. And the Corsicana Tigers have the ball on what is that, the 18-yard line. The 18-yard line with 2nd down and just a little bit to go for the Corsicana Tigers.
2 yards. This is our national broadcast, by the way. We have James Terry's, I think he said daughter.
Yes.
Listening in Georgia. So we've got both coasts covered. Here's a snap back to James and a handoff again by Young, and he breaks it to the outside nicely, picks up the first down, continues to drag tacklers down to the 12-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Corsicana at the 12-yard line. And Daniels has been by far the most impressive runner.
He just keeps going. He's either breaking tackles or just carrying them with him.
And so Daniels by far the most accomplished runner, but Young is having a great drive here all the way down the field. 1st down and 10 from the 12-yard line. Back to James, and fake to Daniels heading around the corner, and he's going to run it into the end zone. Touchdown for Corsicana, 12-yard run by Daniels.
Number 19.
Yes. So a couple of runs. The first one by a flanker around play. And that one, the running back just slithered through there with as that was a very impressive running drive by the Corsicana Tigers. They did mix in a very big pass. So here's Rodriguez on the extra point. Good snap. Ball is down. The kick is good. 2:56 left in the first quarter. New score here from Tiger Stadium in Corsicana. It's Corsicana 14 and the WildCat 0. We'll take a break and we'll be back in a moment.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, where the Wildcats are down 14-0, but they're about to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. We've received too many kickoffs, I'm afraid. This is our third one, Don, because we've received the opening kickoff, and then, of course, the Tigers have scored twice and kicked off again. And so we're about to receive it again. Maybe the Wildcats can do something with it with 2:56 left.
Rodriguez on the kickoff and sends it down the field and taken at the 15-yard line across the 20. Chalk Sims across the 25, and then he's wrapped up at around the 27-yard line. First down and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 27. And I'll tell you what, there is no doubt about it. Royce City got Corsicana's attention last week when they beat them 27-0. I'm sure that they worked like Trojans this week on the practice field, and they have come out ready to redeem themselves for a really embarrassing loss last week.
The Wildcats come out for the Hooten's Hardware first down. Hooten's Hardware, Emory, Texas, they're more than just nuts and bolts.
Two receivers left and right for Caden Wallace and a running back there, and he throws the ball out to the left. The ball is caught by the receiver moving forward a few yards, and
Chase Haney.
Haney on the reception, and they'll mark it around the 31-yard line.
He had a few more yards of forward progress there but he was out of bounds. So.
Gain of 4 on the play. It'll be second down and 6 from the 31-yard line for the Wildcats. Wallace back in the shotgun, takes the snap. He fires the ball. It is caught, I believe, 1 yard short of the first down.
Haney again.
And Haney on the catch. So he went down and got that. That was not an easy catch, and made a good one. And third down and 1. Big play for the Wildcats. And I believe, Chad, that they're trying to get their initial first down here in this ball.
They are.
And here is a running play, and he will get the first down for the Wildcats, as that was Chalk Sims on the run.
Yes.
And Sims down to the 38-yard line, first down and 10.
Another Hooten's Hardware first down.
Not according to, well, there they got it. Here's a pass, and it's caught by Haney. Haney trying to get a block and had trouble moving forward. Will gain about 1 on the play. It'll be second down and 9.
He had about 3 defenders on him. They just wrapped him up, but good catch.
Second down and 9 from the 39-yard line for the Wildcats. Two receivers left and right for Wallace. Takes the snap, looking to the left, fires it down the field, incomplete. Good defense on the receiver, who's going to be a little slow to get up. Is that Chase Haney again?
That is Chase Haney again. He's working both sides of the field. He's going to sit out this next play, it looks like, to bring another receiver in.
Cracks in the back there. He's used to hitting players like that, and that time he got drilled by a Corsicana defender. Third down and 9 at the 39-yard line. Back to Wallace. He fires the ball down the field. It is caught for the... No, they knocked it loose.
No, he got it. He got it.
It's a catch.
Right, and, 46.
That's a new guy. That's Carson Fenton with the nice catch. The B-back for the Wildcats. First down and 10. Excuse me, Carson, for not believing that you hung on there.
Hooten's Hardware first down.
We are above the clouds here. And here's a handoff to Sims, and Sims will be hit right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Corsicana 48. But the Wildcats do have a couple of first downs on this drive as they're moving the ball with just seconds left. Less than a minute left here in the first quarter. Wildcats trailing 14-0. Wallace looks downfield, fires a pass. It's caught. It'll be short of the first down by about a yard.
Number 10, is that T-Meyer?
Yeah, that is Zach T-Meyer, the senior, and he's down to the 39-yard line. It'll be third down and 1 for the Wildcats as they try to get the third first down on this drive. And they'll try a running play. Good dodging of tacklers, and the first down is secured, I believe.
Looks like he made it. Yep, here we go.
The official on the far side gives that signal for that chain gang to move. First down and 10 for the Wildcats.
And another Hooten's Hardware first down.
And they're down at about the 37-yard line. Back to Wallace. Wallace pump fakes, fires it down the field. Receiver heading incomplete. Could not. That ball was right over his head. And if you've played football, you know what a difficult catch that is.
That was number 12.
That is Aiden Walker. And Walker tried to make that catch, but it's just very difficult when that ball comes right over your head.
Right.
And that just happens. So second down and 10 as we have a timeout on the field. Oh, that's the end of the first quarter. And it's Corsicana 14, the Wildcats 0. Back with the start of the second quarter right after this. And the start of the second quarter starts with a running play. Davis bounces off of a tackler and will be forced out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's the most impressive 3-yard run that you'd want to see, because Davis had to work real hard to get that. He had to bounce off a tackler. So a gain of 3 on the play. Second down and 7 for the Wildcats. Corsicana 35. Again, up-tempo here. Back to Wallace. He fakes to the running back. Rolls to the right. Looking down the field. Sails the ball down there to a wide-open receiver. Caught down around the 10-yard line for the Wildcats.
Number 16 is that.
That is Weston Fields. He caught his first touchdown pass as a varsity member last week. So way to go, Weston. First down and goal to go for the Wildcats at the 10-yard line. Here's a running play. Big hole and touchdown Wildcats. Into the end zone goes Caden Davis. And what does Brad Johnson say?
Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats, as they score their first touchdown of the game, which is also a $100 discount on the J. Hodge Chevrolet lot tomorrow.
All right. Good 10-yard run there by Caden Davis. Extra point now coming for Brandon Zavala, as the Wildcats try to cut that lead in half. A high snap. Zavala's kick is on the way, and the kick is good. 11:32 left here in the second quarter. Our new score here from Tiger Stadium in Corsicana. Corsicana 14 and Sulphur Springs 7. Let's take a break here, and we'll be back in a moment.
And welcome back to Tiger Stadium, where the Wildcats are about to kick off the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff to the Tigers.
And who's going to kick it?
13 or 14, they're both down there.
Yes, they are.
OC set it up.
And OC will kick the ball, an onside kick for the Wildcats, and it goes out of bounds. So that will not be, the flag flies there for kicking the ball out of bounds, which is considered delay of the game. And so the Wildcats will face penalty yardage there, and the ball will be marked somewhere in their territory. Now, OCL usually has that kick down, but that one he must have been juiced a little bit.
It went just about the 10 yards it needed to go, but it was also going out of bounds at the 10-yard mark.
Pretty hard.
It was about the 49-yard lines where it went out, and then they just marked off 5 yards. So
the Tigers
said they would. Yep, the Tigers going to start at the Wildcat 44.
Yes, they will do that. First down and 10 for Corsicana at the Wildcats 44. And once again, Solomon James, the quarterback, trip receivers out to the left with a running back, and he will try it. No, he hands off, and Young rips it up in there. And Young will gain a first down and then carry the pile another 5 yards or so down to the 30-yard line. Boy, Anthony Young looks like he is really having a ball game tonight. It's been Daniel so far this year, but Young is really, really outstanding here. First down and 10 for Corsicana at the Wildcat 30. Corsicana leads 14-7, just over 11 left here in the second quarter. Back to Solomon James. He'll try Young again, hitting right up the middle, and he will gain 5 yards down to the 25-yard line. It'll be second down and 5 for the Tigers at the Wildcats' 25-yard line.
Yeah, even when you think he's going to get just maybe 2 or 3 yards, he powers on and got 5 yards on that carry.
Yeah, that offensive line did a real good job that time of blowing open a pretty good hole. And now James back in the shotgun. Trip receivers to the left. He's looking to the left. Fires the ball. It is caught. How did he get that ball in there between 2 defenders? It was caught at the 21-yard line. That'll be a yard short of the first down. Third down and 1.
Number 15 on the reception for the Tigers.
And number 15 would be Drew Denbo. He caught the big pass against North Forney that won that ball game. That was a do or die pass, I understand. James back in the shotgun, takes the snap, and he hands off the running back, hitting up in there and gaining that 1 yard needed, and then carrying it down to the 17-yard line. First down and 10 for Corsicana at the Wildcats 17-yard line. And man alive, this Tigers offense is really pumped up. They kind of, I imagine if you would look at some video of Hal Wasson's teams in South Lake Carroll, you might see an offense that looked a lot like this. And now receivers left and right for James back in the shotgun. He'll take the snap and hands off a running back. And this time, Young cannot go anywhere. The Wildcats wrapped him up and made him look like he lost a yard, but let's see where the spot is. Let's just call it 2nd and 10 from the 17-yard line. Good defense by the Wildcats on that one.
They bring in some different receivers, looks like, for the Tigers.
And back again, James in the shotgun with trip receivers to the left, single receiver to the right. And now a bad snap as he was up there giving instructions. He rolls to the right, fires the ball down the field, and he hit the track with it. And nobody was open over there on the track.
Yeah.
And so incomplete pass, but that is just trying to make lemonade out of lemons. He was up there telling the line the snap count, and the center must have heard it or something, and he snapped it.
Went right past him.
Yeah, and so he was lucky to get that ball, roll to the right, and just throw it out of bounds after he'd gotten out of the tackle box in there. So third down now and 10 for Corsicana. The Wildcats trying to stiffen here. But they trail 14-7. James back in the pocket looking. Now fires the ball to the end zone. Touchdown for Corsicana as he hit that guy. Boy, I tell you, yes, indeed. That's George Foster. He caught 3 touchdown passes against Kaufman. He really lit them up. And he has several others in other games he had caught. I think he's got about 5 touchdown catches. And Foster, he just has a way to get open, and here's the extra point now attempt by Rodriguez of Corsicana. Snap is good. The ball is down. The kick on the way, and the kick is good. So 8:55 left in the second quarter. New score here at Tiger Stadium in Corsicana. Corsicana 21 and Sulphur Springs 7. Let's take a break, and we'll be back in a moment.
And welcome back to Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, where the Wildcats are back to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff because Corsicana just scored another touchdown. 21-7, the Tigers over the Wildcats.
And you said Young had, well, we'll get to that in just a second. Yep. Here's the kickoff, and taken it, dropped at the 18. Sims picks it up across the 20 to the 25, and then
there's your making lemons out of lemonade.
Good run back there for the Wildcats, and that was Davis, I believe.
So the Wildcats will start on their own 20.
No, that was Chuck Sims at the 25. Yeah.
25-yard line. The Hootens Hardware first down coming out for the Wildcats as they start on their own 25. And
the Wildcats will start at their own 25. First down and 10 after a good run back. And you said Davis had how many yards?
No, Young on the other team.
Young on the other.
Has 82 yards already this game. Yeah, so he's doing well.
Back to Wallace, and he'll throw out to the right, and the ball is caught across the 25 to the 30 and up to about the 32-yard line. And that was that Sanchez?
Brian Sanchez.
Sanchez, number 4. And he will move up for 7 yards. It'll be second down and 3 for the Wildcats at the 32. They're in their own territory. Back to Wallace. He hands off running back forward for the first down for the Wildcats. Across the 35 to 37-yard line.
That's going to be Chuck Sims.
And Sims rumbling, and now Sims will hobble off. He hops over there. Probably need a new
Hootens Hardware first down.
Probably need a new tape job. Hopefully that'll get Chalk back on the field. And Wallace in the shotgun, first down and 10 for the Wildcats. He throws the ball out to the left, caught by Weston Fields, and Fields will be wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage by Corsicana. They very good defense there.
Yeah, the defense read that one on the Wildcats, unfortunately.
Shamar Smith, second down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Corsicana 37-yard line. Again, Wallace from the shotgun, two receivers out to the right, one to the left. Fake to the running back, fires the pass. It is caught and breaks the tackle across the 45. First down for the Wildcats, as that was Bryson Lacey, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Numero uno in your program, and numero uno in the heart of all the Wildcat fans. First down and 10 for the Wildcats at the 49-yard line.
12-yard gain.
And Wallace fires the ball again, incomplete. This time not caught there. Got to catch first and then run, and the receiver was thinking about the run, and Lacey was unable to bring that one in. Second down and 10 from the 49 in Wildcats territory.
They got up and snapped that so quick. I missed the Hooten's Hardware first down, but here comes the Hooten's Hardware second down.
All right.
For the Wildcats.
That's just as good.
Well,
sort of.
It was second and 1, but it's second and 10.
And back to Wallace now, and here's a running play, and the back is cut down at the 49. No gain on the play by Davis. Second down, or now third down and 10 from the 49-yard line. And I'll just declare this the Hooten Hardware third down play for the Wildcats.
Still 10 yards to go.
And here's back to Wallace. He fires the ball out in the flat. It is caught across the 50, and then the receiver dives forward. He'll be well short of the first down as they'll mark it at the 47.
That was Davis again.
6 yards for the first down after the catch by Caden Davis. You have Caden Wallace and Caden Davis. Spell the names differently. Caden Wallace with a K and Caden Davis with a C.
The big fourth down play, they're not going to go for it this time. They're going to get Noe Ponce in there to punt the ball.
And Noe back there. Corsicana with a receiver down around the 11-yard line on this punt. Corsicana leads 21-7, 6:32 left, and now Ponce, I thought he was going to throw, and now kicks the ball. It's taken at the 11. Corsicana run back up to around the 19-yard line before the returner was knocked out of bounds by the Wildcats. First down and 10 for the Corsicana Tigers, and they're at their own 19-yard line. They lead 21-7 again with 6:22 left here in the second quarter.
36-yard punt for Noe Ponce, but a return, so it netted to 28. Don.
All right.
You believe all that?
No. I'm amazed. Chad with a new program, and he is showing it off, and I'm impressed. Usually they have to depend on my
your quick
math
man
in my head, and that's a dangerous thing. Here's back to James, be a running back heading in there, and very little yardage, maybe one for Corsicana.
Yeah, with forward progress, they knocked him back a couple of yards after that, and
he's in a muck of players, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's not turning around to help you
I think that was Young again with the ball.
I believe that is a 28, yes. Second down and 9 for Corsicana at the 20-yard line. So that time they bottled the Young up. That's good to see, because actually he gained 2.
Yeah, actually they gave him 2 yards on the forward.
So second down and 8 from the 20. And back to James, and James looking, and he pulled it down and now scrambles, and still scrambling around down there, and still, and now it fires the ball down the field, incomplete. The receiver tried for a diving catch, couldn't get it. But boy, what an elusive young man, and he came so close with the knee going down back there, but he just kept scrambling. And that was kind of in Coach Owen's anxiety closet, was that quarterback scrambling around back there. He really doesn't run too much. I think one game I saw where he had 60 yards.
Right.
It's pretty good, but most of the time he is not, that is not his prime directive. He wants to throw.
And there's a little confusion on the Tiger offense back there. They're getting lined up.
Third down and 8 from the 20-yard line for Corsicana. James from the shotgun takes a snap, fires the ball down the field, caught first down, and out of bounds. The receiver goes at the 36-yard line.
It's number 11
territory, and that is Fuentes. No, that's not Fuentes. That is Foster. And again, that is George Foster. Foster is a junior. on this sophomore-laden Corsicana. At least has 3. So you've seen 2 running backs and the quarterback. So they've got a good future. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 36. Back to James. He throws almost a backward pass. The ball is caught, and the receiver, and that is Daniels.
Number 19 again,
and
yes.
Daniels moves to the 36-yard line, and that is no gain. Good job there by the Wildcats. Looked like Bull Turner coming up from the safety position to make the tackle. I love that nickname.
Bull, you like that?
Yeah, he's a baby Bull, but he's a sophomore, and great future out of Bull Turner. They liked him from the moment they saw him this spring. Or maybe it was the start of football practice. They all runs together to me. Here's a running play for Corsicana. It'll gain 5. As that was a quick hitting play there by Daniels.
There's a now flag.
And we do have a flag here. Oh, that was Young, wasn't it? It was 28.
I think it was 19 again.
Oh, okay. I see. They snuck Young in after the play.
Yep.
But that was Davis. The officials talking this over. I don't know if you'll be able to hear.
No, we have trouble with that.
It just kind of mixes in with this hodgepodge here.
Here we go.
I can tell he's talking. But,
right, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Tigers, which is good for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it'll be a big major
Looks
penalty.
like they're going to mark off 15 yards there.
It was 3rd and 5, but now here comes the big mark-off on that flag. It'll be all the way back to the 26-yard line.
I really didn't see anything happening, but it looked like it must have happened after the play because the play was whistled dead. And so
third down and 20 for Corsicana. They're at their own 26-yard line. They lead 21-7, 4:27 and counting here in the second quarter. James takes the snap. He's back in the pocket. Lots of time to throw. Fires it down the field. Players bump into each other, and the Wildcats are going to get a flag for I believe, pass interference. It would be the possible.
Yeah, it looks like they just ran into each other, and the Tiger receiver really played it well and just went down. And the ball was really nowhere near where he was running to. But anyway, I think he sold it to the official, and we're about to get a penalty on that.
Well, let's see. They're talking about it.
Yep.
See if they might pick that up. If it's a not catchable ball.
Let's see. Here he comes.
Nobody's moving. They're not. Of course, they could still mark it off.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're waiting here, but we won't be able to hear this. Right. Unless it's better than last time. Pass interference against Corsicana.
Oh, gosh.
Declined.
Yes.
You know, and that's why we don't call the plays from up here, because, or call the penalties up here.
Penalties, yeah.
Well, we just speculated that it might be pass interference, but turned out to be on the offense. I mean, don't the defensive players have just as much right to their spot on the field?
Right. And that
if the offensive player initiates the contact, and it's on him.
Backs the Tigers way up and applying the penalty, makes it fourth down, so they have to punt.
And somebody got a jump, and they did not flag that. That punt goes very short yardage, and it's going to be inside the Corsicana 40-yard line on a very short 18-yard punt. Even I can do. No, it's worse than that.
Well, 17.
No, it's worse than that. It's a 12-yard kick. It went from the 26 to the 38.
Oh, the 38. Yes, you're right. It's 38.
Yeah, I was looking at 1st and 20 they still had up there. Wasn't a 20-yard.
Great opportunity for the Wildcats to start in Tiger territory, this Hooten Hardware first down, with the Wildcats on the Tiger 38-yard line.
And the Wildcats are on the Tigers 38-yard line, and here's a handoff, a fake, and now Wallace will throw the ball. A wide open receiver. He's to the 10 and dragged down at the 5. I think that was Weston Fields again.
No, that was T-Meyer.
Yes, it was Zach T-Meyer.
Zach T-Meyer always with the big run.
Oh, apologize to Zach. That was a 10 instead of 16. And again, we are way up high here in Corsicana. First down and goal for the Wildcats at the 5 as they try to cut the lead to a touchdown. And they will start with a running play. Touchdown, Wildcats! Right up the middle of, everything's a numbered street here. That's right up the middle of 24th Street. How about that?
Yes, and that was Caden Davis. Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go, Caden Davis, way to go, Wildcats, as they bring the score 13-21. Wildcats are about to attempt the extra point.
That is the second touchdown run for Davis tonight. And here is the extra point by Brandon Zavala. Good snap. The ball down by Cody there, Campbell Cody, and the kick is good. 3:44 left here in the second quarter. A new score now as the Wildcats right in this football game. Corsicana 21 and the Wildcats 14. We'll take a break. Back in a moment.
And we're back at Tiger Stadium. Here comes the Wildcat kickoff, Jayhawk Chevrolet kickoff.
And approaching the ball, and this time a deep kick by Brandon Zavala. And the Tigers muff the ball, pick it up inside the 10, running all the way across the field, across the 15. A flag flies, and the player is tackled out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
And another flag.
That flag will be on one of those horse collar tackles.
Yeah.
Would be my guess, kind of the way that player went down. I think Corsicana is going to have an illegal block, or maybe even a tripping play, as it looked like something really untoward back there on the run back. Let's see. We'll let the officials call the game. But
we did so well last time, didn't we?
Well, yeah, we got exactly backwards, but we live to redeem ourselves here. As somebody told Tony Romo, when you're doing color, do not predict.
Right, there's going to be 2 penalties on this play, and we're pretty sure one of them can go against the Wildcats for a horse collar. The other one I'm going to say is going to be a block in the back by the Tigers. So let's see how good we are on this.
Unless it's some kind of weird, I thought it was like even a tripping penalty or something. But again, you're following the ball, and you're not always looking back behind the play.
And Don says we're pretty high up here, a little bit higher than what the Goodyear blimp would be flying over, I think. But
well, these clouds make it difficult, don't they? To look through the clouds. There's
a block in the back.
Offsetting penalty, so
that's good.
Never mind.
Right. And I think it was a block in the back against the Tigers.
Yeah, definitely the horse collar there on the sideline.
So here come the Tigers. First and 10 on their 30-yard line.
The Tigers do have it first and 10 at their own 30. And James, the quarterback, takes the snap, and he'll hand off running back, and he moves forward for 4 yards. And that was Day Daniel. That was Anthony Young.
Mr. Anthony Young again.
Chad Young wants to make sure I mention Anthony Young.
Well, it's easy to call. Mr. Young down there.
All right.
He's having a big game.
Second down and 6 from the 34-yard line. And again, Solomon James back in the shotgun. Will take the snap. He fires the ball out to the left. It's caught. Receiver straight forward. Fuentes. And he is cut down by the Wildcats at the 36-yard line. That'll be 4 yards short of the first down. That was a very short game. So they moved it forward. That'll be
they gave it some forward progress there.
At the 37-yard line. And now Corsicana looking over to the sideline to try to get the play here. They have trip receivers out to the right. Well, this has been a tough of putting those 3 receivers over there. And Solomon James takes a snap, and he's looking right there. Now he scrambles up into the pocket and still moving forward, and will gain the first down on the run up to the 43-yard line. That was a very effective run by James, the quarterback, as he just got past the point needed for the first down. Not real flashy, but it did
worked.
The job.
Yep.
First down and 10 from the 42-yard line, Corsicana in their own territory.
2:09, 2:08 counting left in the half.
And the Tigers leading the Wildcats 21-14. Wildcats hanging in there with these Corsicana Tigers.
Time for a big stop. They can keep them.
Second place in district, right behind Ennis. Here's a snap and a running play. And now Daniels flashes it outside, but he is, he made it around the corner somehow, but they forced him out of bounds. Looks like the 39-yard line. That'll be a loss of 1. So 2nd and 11. Well, actually, they're going to. It looked like
it looked like he dropped the ball as he was getting close to the sideline. It may have rolled out of bounds. They going to mark him for a 3-yard.
They moved it backwards to the 39-yard line. That'll be a loss of 3, as Chad mentioned. 2nd down and 13 now from the 39. And here is a running play again by Daniels. He counter punches in there up to about the 37-yard line. So he made a yard from the original line of scrimmage, plus the yardage lost the last one. 3rd down and 9 now from the 37-yard line. A big play for the Wildcats defense. 1:20 all that's left here in the second quarter. James back to pass, looking all kinds of time to throw. The Wildcats now coming late, but James scrambling around, and he's going to try to run it there. He laid one of the Wildcats there on a missed tackle, and looks like he got the first down. Boy, did he really have somebody out there in the flat and just put on a move. And it looks like he did. He got that first down. They'll move the chains. Oh, my. Well, when you're a big guy out there trying to chase down a smaller player with a lot of moves, you can really be embarrassed out there. And now a timeout taken by Corsicana. 54 seconds left here in the second quarter. Corsicana leads the Wildcats 21-14. Back in a moment.
And welcome back to Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, where the Wildcats are down 21-14. Only 54 seconds left in the half. And Don, the Tigers are on the move. It's 1st and 10, but they're in Wildcat territory. They're on about our 48-yard line.
Yeah, the big stat, though, is 54 ticks on that clock. So the clock is on their back. And so if they're going to score, they're going to need the big play. They've got 2 receivers left and right. You can bet they will be moving deep down the field here. And let's see how the Wildcats play it. Last time they looked like they rushed 3. James back to pass, fires the ball down the field. It is caught, and then the receiver slipped and fell.
Number 2 on the reception for
that's a new guy. That is Savion Miller. And Miller slipped and fell.
Yeah, he tried to turn around and slipped, and great for the Wildcats.
That was a gain of 3 down to the 45. The clock continuing to run with just over 30 left here in the second quarter. Back to James. James will look deep down the field, looking, has all kinds of time. And now here comes Carrillo late. Here's a throw down the field. It's caught inside the 25-yard line down to the 24. And that is Fuentes.
He must have gone out of bounds. The clock is stopped while they move the chains.
Yeah, they would do that. And so they're waiting to put those chains in place.
And then here comes the clock running.
Of the clock. As 16 seconds and counting, Corsicana again has to hurry here as they're inside the 25-yard line. And now they're going to call timeout with 9 seconds left here in the second quarter and kind of talk it over to kind of design a play. 9 seconds left here in the second quarter. Corsicana 21, Wildcats 14. Let's take a break. Back in a moment.
Back at Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, Don, this is a nail-biter. 9 seconds left.
And from the 24-yard line, James takes the ball and back in the shotgun, getting the rush from the Wildcats, rolling to the right, looking. He's going to sail the ball down the field, a jump ball down there, and no flags. Wildcats had the receiver double covered. And
all zeros.
And that is the end of the first half. That ball was the last play with that ball thrown into the end zone, but very good coverage by the Wildcats, and we find the Wildcats right in the middle of this football game at the half. It sure didn't look that way, Chad.
No.
In the early going with those 2 first quarter touchdowns by Corsicana. Looked like we weren't going to have a blowout on our hands, but we're at the half, and it is Corsicana 21 and the Wildcats 14. Wow, I look forward to a great second half.
Yes, well, it's going to be a close one. We'll talk about the stats here in a minute. We're going to wait for the band to come out. I think we'll take a real quick commercial break while they get set up, and we'll be back with the Wildcat Band here in just a second. And we're back at Tiger Stadium where the Blue Blazers have just come out to perform for halftime. As the band gets ready, here they go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sulphur Springs High School proudly presents the 58th line of the Blue Blazers as they strike up the band. Soldiers for this year are singers Sandy Amalane and Oscar Mejia. Singers, Johnny Almore. Officers for this year are Lieutenant Macy Swafford, Lieutenant Olivia Walker, First Lieutenant Allie Herman, Co-Captain Patty Herman, Captain Allie Owen. The Blazers would like to recognize this week's spirit girl, Destiny Captain. The Blazers would also like to recognize their Blazer Lead, Destiny Perez. We'd like to give a special shout out to our halftime partners, the SSHS WildCat with Daniel Murphy are Rachel Wayne and Kevin Peters. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sulphur Springs High School WildCat Band.
The one who is
Well, Don, another great performance by the WildCat band. Probably the most flawless performance I've seen them perform all year long. Practice makes perfect, obviously, and they had competition this week and did very well. They went over to Mount Pleasant, I think it was on Tuesday of this week. And
right, that's a region competition, and they did qualify for area with straight ones. And Spencer Emmerich said just what you said. He said every time they perform, they just seem to be getting better. And of course, the great, late and great Charles McCauley, that was always his standard. Sure. Get better every time.
Right, and we apologize for the sound quality. We know it's a little rough, and we're kind of spoiled when we're at the Gerald Prim Stadium because we have very good sound quality and a lot of things that we can control, and we kind of have to take what they give us when we go on the road, and so it wasn't quite the quality that we're used to, but I encourage you to watch the YouTube video or Channel 18 and watch the performance because that was just a flawless performance. And if you can, go to the area competition, which will be in Mesquite on October 25th for the UIL.
I don't think they've received their time that they're going to be on the field. At least if they have. The last time I checked with Spencer, they did not have it.
Yeah, it's kind of late in getting that. But another wonderful performance by the WildCat band. James, we're going to send it back to the studio and take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about some stats. So right now we'll take a break and be back with you in a moment. Don says here comes the onside kick for the Jayhawk Chevrolet kickoff.
Darn, you said that. I was hoping people would kind of forget that.
Who's got the green shoes down there?
I haven't seen those yet.
Yeah. So both of our kickers are lined up. Here it comes.
And it will be Brandon Zavala with the onside kick. It bounces. The Wildcats recover. I don't think it went 10 yards. That went about 8 yards. So the
but I
recovery. Well, he touched the ball.
The defender touched it first. It bounced right off of his numbers. The Tigers are coming back to the sideline. Let's see what the call is going to be. There's a penalty flag out there.
Yeah, you would think the 10 yards should be moot once the player touches the ball.
And we're coming back out to kick, it looks like.
Yeah, we're going to have to
probably have to back it up. And without the... Here comes the official right on the right center field.
Oh, the Wildcats were offside. Oh, my. Boy, that's a tough 5 yards because that negates possession, I think. That keeps me from being right. My goodness. I'd be upset about that. Let's see. We're going to try it again here from the 35-yard line. So the Wildcats to kick off again, the dual kickers. And can you really do two onside kicks and get them
looks
both?
Like they're going to go for it.
And this time it will be Zavala. He kicks it 10 yards forward. This time, Corsicana very smartly falls on the football. And so the onside kick unsuccessful. And with the unsuccessful onside kick, once again, Corsicana really nice field position at the Wildcats' 47-yard line.
Yeah, he kicked it right up the middle there, trying to fake them out and catch them off guard. And with all of our guys stacked up on either side, and they didn't fall for it. So they have the ball in Wildcat territory.
Oh man, that offside really was I think that negated what would have been a possession. Here's James back in the shotgun now. We'll take the snap and handoff. Running back hitting up in there, short yardage up to the 45-yard line. And once again, that was Young.
Mr. Young.
And gain of 2, second down and 8 for Corsicana at the Wildcat 45-yard line.
They're going to keep Young in the backfield the rest of the game. You can tell that.
And so here is second and 8, and James directing traffic out there. 2 receivers out to the left and right, and a running back to his right. And James takes the snap. He's back in the pocket, sails it down the field. It's caught at the 30-yard line in the secondary. Dietrich Clayton will drag the ball carrier or the receiver down at the 27. First down and 10 for Corsicana.
Yeah, that was number 17 on the reception for
a new
the
guy.
Tigers.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a new one for us.
I'm going to have to dig in here because that is not a number that, here I'm not prepared for the second half.
And here comes the
Here
snap.
comes James. We'll get that receiver in just a second. And now he fumbles the ball with the running back, but he got on it right ahead of Aiden Walker, who was just all over him back there.
Yep.
That receiver, 17 we talked about, is Jack O'Valley. And so that is a name that we had not called in the first half, so he made that catch. But then the running play blew up on him, and that one will lose 8 yards. So it'll be second down and 18 for Corsicana now, back at the Wildcats' 35-yard line. And again, Corsicana trying to get it together here. They still have 7 seconds to get the play off. James takes the snap. He's in the pocket, and he's going to move forward. He's scrambling around. He's caught and dropped. He's sacked back there by the Wildcats. Look like DeAndre Peoples, perhaps.
Sacked for maybe another loss of about 3 yards, I think, maybe.
I believe that was DeAndre Peoples on that sack. Was it 99, Doug?
Yep.
Doug confirms that. Thank you, Doug. He can see through that camera lens all the way back to Sacramento.
We're here in the Goodyear blimp section.
What town are we from? That's a Sulphur Springs. Here's James with a pass. The ball is caught by Fuentes on that little screen play.
He's wrapped up.
He's wrapped up and driven back. And they will mark forward progress at the 36-yard line. Fourth down now for the Tigers in a bunch, as they're at the 36 and they need down to the 17. So they need 19 yards. So fourth down and 19. And now we have a Wildcat down on the field, maybe a couple of them that are going to need some attention. So, well, they're both up on their feet now, and that's good. One of them is Dominique Sims, and he's being looked at.
20 and 44.
44 is Carrillo.
Yeah, they're both staying in the game.
Yeah, they. And so tough fellas, especially. Well, I'm not going to say Carrillo's any tougher than Sims, but he's had some back spasms and stuff that Coach Owens was telling us about. Called him a warrior.
They're going
on
for
the
it.
coach's show. Wow, going for it on fourth down and 17 from the Wildcats 36. So they think they're in the. And James goes back, and now he will punt the ball. And Chase Haney goes back. It hits, and Haney picks it up at the 10. He's going to return it to the 15, across the 20. Oh, he left the ball behind. It's down on the ground, and looks like Corsicana recovered as the officials race in. First down and 10 for Corsicana. And now a flag flies in there as players were fighting for possession of that football. But Corsicana recovers, and as the flags continue, it looked like the Rockets' red glare going up, those flags flying out of there. But we'll sort this out, and looks like Corsicana ball right now on the Wildcat 27-yard line. The flags pending. Let's see what we have. And boy, we have a ton of flags. I think every official maybe emptied his pocket on that.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is we will not be able to hear what he is trying to tell us. Now, we try, but you can tell they're saying something. But as
big discussion down there on the field.
As the kick returner came through there, somebody stripped that ball clean. And it looked like that return man was fixing to set sail for a long return, and somebody made a saving play.
Here comes the official.
So at least we'll know which direction he's pointing. Unsportsmanlike on Corsicana, unsportsmanlike on the Wildcats. Boy, the most popular call tonight.
Yep.
Offsetting penalties, Chad. So Corsicana gets the fumble recovery at the 27, and that hurts.
Yep.
But at least there's no more thing tacked on as it was a personal foul. Boys will be boys.
Right, offsetting.
Offsetting.
One penalty on each side. But they confirmed that the ball was tripped and fumbled, and the Tigers have got the ball with better field position and a first down. They're on the Wildcat 27-yard line.
Yeah, they did well to punt, didn't they?
Yep.
They punted their way into a first down after the turnover.
Chase Haney was making a nice run out of it.
Oh, I thought he was getting ready to break. And James, now another bad snap, and Corsicana going back and picking it up, and the Wildcats are all over that poor running back. That was James. Oh, poor Young. He's going to lose all of his yardage. He's back to the 47-yard line.
Right.
And they need to the 17. They need 30 yards after that bad snap cost them 20 yards.
Yep.
Wow. Now, they may charge that to the team. They may call that a team loss. Sometimes I've seen them do that.
I've got it on his stats. He's down to 70 yards now. He was up to
Just
90.
70. My goodness.
Yes.
So here's second down and 30 now. And boy, James has got to be afraid to look at the sideline, afraid that ball will be snapped. Now they're going to run Young again. He moves across the 45, a big pile of humanity about the 43. So that's a gain of about 5. So it's going to be third down and 25 now for Corsicana at around the Wildcat 37-yard line. Let's call it the 38. So
great
extra yard, 26 yards needed.
Yeah, great opportunity for the Wildcats right here to hold them.
Yeah, this would be a very upsetting kind of play if they can pull this off. It's third and a 26. But if anybody can do it, Solomon James might be your man. And he's going to sail the ball downfield. Caught, and their receiver's running free. He'll go for a touchdown. Touchdown, Corsicana. Wow, that's worse than I ever imagined. A 43-yard touchdown pass. And from James and I think Fuentes, yes.
Yes, Fuentes.
So Fuentes, he got one running earlier and now makes the catch. And so, boy, Corsicana, man, the last a couple of plays against the Wildcats really changing uniforms here, as Don Meredith would say. Extra point, the ball is down. It flutters. Nope. It will not make it. Hits about halfway in the end zone. Kick is no good.
Not sure if it was blocked or something happened there.
I think he got a terrible ball to kick. I think he looked down and said, "You got to be kidding me. You want me to kick that?" And it just came up woefully short. Kick no good. 7:28 left here in the third quarter. New score here at Tiger Stadium in Corsicana. Corsicana 27, the Wildcats 14. Let's take a break. Back in a moment.
And we're back at Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, where the Corsicana Tigers are about to kick off the James J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff.
Here's a kick by Rodriguez. It's high and coming up short. Taking a 23 across the 25 to 30. Across the 35. Nice run back there.
That was Bryant Sanchez.
Bryant Sanchez, one of the up guys. I said it was a short kick, and Sanchez sets sail and goes all the way to the 38-yard line in Wildcats territory. So good field position for the Wildcats as they trail 27-14, 7:25 still left in the third quarter.
They're coming out for their Hootens Hardware first down of the half here.
But I'm telling you what, it has been an evil third quarter so far with a couple of things going against the Wildcats.
Right, some bad luck.
And here's Wallace takes the snap, fires the ball down the field, almost intercepted, knocked down. And intended, I think, for Bryson Lacey.
Yeah, real good defender, number 13 there. Broke that up for the Tigers.
He's picked one for a touchdown this year. That's Jabraylon Douglas. Back to Wallace. He throws a pass. It is caught by Davis, and Davis will move to the 36-yard line. Oh, that's Chalk Sims. Excuse me, Chalk. I'm sorry about that. And so up to the 36, it'll be third down and 12 for the Wildcats at their own 36. So they're going to have some magic like Corsicana did on third down. And back to Wallace. Fake to the running back. He's getting a rush, and he's going to be sacked. As Corsicana with a rare blitz, and coming in to make the tackle was Isaiah Cornejo. And he tackles Wallace back at the 29 on the sack, and the Wildcats will be called on the punt here in the third quarter.
Yeah. Quick 3 and out for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that onside on that that offside on the onside kick, and then the fumble for the Wildcats have turned the tide here in the third quarter. Corsicana leads 27-14. Back to Ponce and Noe on the kick. Oh, it's a low aircraft. It's picked up at the 33-yard line on the return. Up to the 40 for Corsicana. Around the corner, 45-50. Still going. Flag flies to the 30. He will return this, I think, if he can get into the end zone. The Wildcats still trying to get him down inside the 10, and they will wrestle him to the ground at about the 7, but a flag is down, and so is the Wildcat. Because they'll have to sort all this down, and that may be related. If that player got blocked into the back of his legs or something there. And so...
trying to see who that player is. I can't see right now. It was a good 38-yard punt by Ponce, but of course returned the net returns way back there. They almost
got the player up on his feet there.
That's Chase Haney.
Chase Haney. Man, Chase has had kind of a tough night. He seemed like he got racked, hit real hard one time, and then I think he got illegally blocked on that.
Yeah, they're calling it there. We can't hear it, but he pointed toward the Tigers.
So that will cost them greatly because they took that pass inside the 10-yard line, but it'll all be coming back.
Yeah, they've returned that punt all the way down and almost scored. But
yeah, inside the 10, and now here's a walk-off for 10 yards back to the 45-yard line.
And so just about a 7-yard return, I believe. No, a 12-yard return for them. What it's going to net out to be. So fielded at the 33.
33, yep. 45, that's the 12, yeah.
Checking my math.
You're doing a good job. you and Univac over there. First down and 10 from the 45-yard line. And back to James. And here's a running play for Corsicana. And it moves forward 6 yards into Wildcats territory at the 49. Gain of 6, second and 4 from the Wildcats 49. And I believe that was Young again.
It was.
And he was a little slow to get up, looked like. Or somebody was.
Well, no, one of the linemen was slow. Young was helping him up.
So somebody down there in blue with a white helmet on top. So second and 4 now for Corsicana. There's a snap. James fires a pass. It is caught. Receiver ahead for the first down inside the 40 and tackled at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, for number 2.
And that is Savion Miller. That's his second catch of the game at least. First down and 10 for Corsicana at the Wildcats 39.
5:15 left in the third quarter.
As Corsicana continues to own this quarter, has not been a good one for the Wildcats so far. And here's a running play, once again Young, and he is pretty much jammed up, but my goodness, he falls forward and continues to fight all the way down to the 37, and that'll be a gain of 2.
Yeah, just when you think he's not going to get anywhere.
2-yard gain.
Yeah, he keeps going and keeps moving. Like you say, he falls forward.
Second down and 8 from the 37. For the Corsicana Tigers, one of the winningest programs. They think they are the winningest, perhaps in 5A. They've probably got the records to prove it. Here's a snap back to Solomon James. He steps up. He sails it down the field, and incomplete. The receiver tried to come back to the ball. Pretty good coverage back there by the Wildcats. Did not... It does not look like Dominique Sims.
Let me look here from the Goodyear blimp.
Chad Young, but again, the player not helping us. He's not turning around. Show that back number there.
Right there he is, 20, just plain 20.
Oh, that is Dominique.
Yep, 2-0.
It did not look like him to me from here, but that was Dominique Sims with a good coverage. Third down and 8 now. Big play for this Wildcats defense as they try to stem the tide here. Back to James in the pocket. He's looking down the field. He's going to scramble out of the pocket. He throws and almost intercepted by Chase Haney there. But it is intercepted by the Wildcats. Another interception for Chase Haney. That's his 4th of the season. And he went over the receiver to make that catch at the 27-yard line. Chase, what a play, young man.
So the Wildcats will take over on their own 27-yard line. The Hooten's Hardware first down. Hooten's Hardware, Emory, Texas.
So first and 10 for the Wildcats. 4:15 left here in the third quarter, and Corsicana leading 27-14. So the Wildcats see if they can't. Every time they seem like they're down by 2 touchdowns, they've had a drive that's got them back within 1. Let's see if they can do it. Wallace from the shotgun. He'll fake. He rolls up. Receiver open. He catches the ball and then is knocked off his feet at about the 32-yard line.
46.
Okay. That's a new receiver there. We don't have a 26.
46, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. That's Carson Fenton. That's his second catch. And that gained 5, second down and 5 for the Wildcats. Way to go, Carson. And fake to the running back. Wallace fires the pass. It's caught by Weston Fields. He breaks one tackle, then dragged to the ground, but he did get the first down up to the 39-yard line. And now Fields comes up. I think he's bouncing up and down. He may just be excited.
Yeah, he fought for that one. They gave him forward progress for another Hooten's Hardware first down.
And now look at Caden Wallace out there. He has really developed into a leader this year. And he's got 2 receivers out to the right, single receiver to the left, and he hands off running play, and that's a good, effective running play there. That's what we talked about, keep them honest. And that one maybe caught him looking for a pass, and Davis on the run will gain 5 yards, second down and 5. Another running play. Davis fights off some tacklers and gained 1. Or actually, they're going to mark it right at the line of scrimmage. No gain, third down and 5 for the Wildcats at their own 44-yard line. So a big play for this offense. They want to keep going here. Do not want to give the ball up. Just a little over 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Corsicana leading 27-14.
Sanchez and Lacey on the other side.
And a man in motion will send him to the other side now, at least Lacey. And Wallace rolling to the right. Oh, he looked like he had a man open, but he decided to run, and he'll come up short. And he runs out of bounds. Looked like he had a receiver open.
Sanchez was way down the field, probably 5 yards ahead of the defender. But
he had a guy that was only about 5 yards ahead of him and looked to be wide open. But again, it's when you're being chased, things look a lot different. But it's fourth down for the Wildcats now, and they need 6 yards. And so the Wildcats will have to punt, and this less than thrilling third quarter continues here. And they have had some trouble in the third quarter this year, just over and over again. They play pretty good at half sometimes. Here's Ponce on the kick. Boy, that one high and not too deep, but it's going to hit and kind of take a neutral bounce, and now gets a little bit more kick for the Wildcats inside the 20 to the 19. And by doing that, that puts it inside the 20, and that always makes the coaching staff smile when you can punt that ball the other team inside the 20.
A 38-yard punt by Noe Ponce and no return, so pushes the Tigers back within their own red zone, all the way back in Tiger territory on the 19-yard line for them to start their drive.
Yeah, no style points maybe on that. You won't be getting high artistic marks by the judges, but for execution and effect, that was effective inside the 20. First down and 10 for Corsicana at their own 19-yard line. 2:31 left here in the third quarter, and Corsicana leading 27-14. James takes a snap, a flanker around, and the flanker moving in there, but very short yardage there to the 21, gain of 2. Wildcats did a good job of kind of walling that receiver off and not letting him gain. I think Fuentes was on that reverse, and we saw him score on that play early in the ball game. So second down and 8 from the 21.
Wildcats shut that one down. A good defensive play.
Did a good job there on the defense, guys. Once again, Solomon James. His stats are every bit as impressive as Drake from Ennis. Here's a running play. Once again, Young, and he will, he always ends up
it looks
heading
like a first
forward.
down.
And he's first down. He got it. He looked like he needed 5 yards. And by the time he fell forward. First and 10 for Corsicana at the 29-yard line. Very impressive run for that Tigers. Anthony Young, who has come of age. I'm not sure he's had a 100-yard game this year, but I think he's got one now. It depends on that big loss. Hand off again to Young, and he will spill forward up to the 34-yard line. And that's a gain of 5. It'll be second down and 5. God, I love that down marker, that bright numeral.
We're going to have to buy one of those for the prim, I think.
Yeah, Coach Owens, I want one of those in my Christmas stocking.
Sure.
I don't know what it'd do in my living room, though. It may not be the right thing. But I really like that.
It does show
impressive.
up well, electronic down marker.
Yeah, I don't know who dreamed that up, but it's a good deal. Second down and 5 now for Corsicana. James back in the shotgun. And here's a handoff, and the Wildcats stuffed the run. Oh, did a nice job there, and there's going to be a loss of 1 on the play.
19 on the...
Oh, Daniels comes back in there, and he has just had a hard time getting going tonight, just like he did against Royce City last week.
And even though they're dropping 5 yards back, they're going to give him forward progress for no loss. So they're still 3rd and 5.
All right, third down. Well, that's 3rd and 6, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So back at the the 33-yard line. I'll get it right. And here come the Tigers. And once again, James. And boy, he's been pretty good on 3rd down several times in this game. The Wildcats try to stop him here. James sails the ball down the field, and it's incomplete. Good defense by Dietrich Clayton. And, boy, Coach Metter comes off the sideline and kind of slapped Dietrich right in the chest as if to say, way to go, young man. That was good pass defense. Coach Metter, a former head coach at Lindale. And Greg Owens, I think he was Greg's offensive coordinator when Greg was at Lindale. Got a great Lindale influence. Sure miss Derek Tyson. Derek, if you're listening out there, you're always a man that I enjoyed talking to. A really good coach. And here's Corsicana to punt on 4th down. And the kick is on the way. And looks like a fair catch caught for, and it was muffed, but the Wildcats, a great play to back up that play there. And was that Dietrich Clayton again?
I believe it was.
Dietrich Clayton, as the ball was muffed, and fielded the ball as that's the end of the 3rd quarter, and good riddance to that one. That was a stinker. And we've played 3 here from Tiger Stadium in Corsicana. Our score, Corsicana 27, Sulphur Springs Wildcats 14. Let's hope for a big, exciting 4th quarter out of the Wildcats. Let's take a break, and we'll be back in a moment. And a running play starting the 4th quarter for the Wildcats, and it is a good one. It will go out for about 9 yards.
Caden Davis again.
Davis gaining 9 up to the 47. We apologize for busting out of that spot. We'll get back to it, but we got caught there. And here are the Wildcats on 2nd down and 1. They'll try another running play. The back running real hard there for the 1st down. Boy, hitting in there with a lot.
Again.
Davis, I'll tell you what, sometimes that young man is just so inspiring.
So another Hooten's Hardware 1st down. He picks it up right at midfield.
And he's got that jersey on where that number starts to disappear. I don't know why that happens, but he's hard to notice. Here's Wallace, and he will fire the ball downfield, kind of throw it up into coverage there, and incomplete. Oh, lucky he wasn't picked off there. Probably good pass defense by the Wildcats receiver there to make sure that ended up on the ground.
Yeah, the intended receiver, number 8 there.
Dietrich Clayton again. He's made a couple of really outstanding plays, recovering that muff on the punt, and then playing real good. Of course, he's a defensive back, so he just did what came naturally there. 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats at the 49-yard line in Corsicana territory. And once again, Davis hitting up in there, running as hard as he can, but just not much room to roam. And he will gain 2 yards up to the 47-yard line. 3rd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Corsicana 47. Well, Davis really running hard. That young man is showing us something tonight. But he's been doing that. Coach Owens continues to talk about that. Wallace in the shotgun. Big play here. And Davis running. Oh, it's a fake and a reverse around to the flanker. He will have the first down as Bryant Sanchez runs all the way down to the 35-yard line. And oh my, was I faked out, Chad?
Yeah,
I was banging Caden Davis along with everybody else.
Brian Sanchez, they've run that play, but here comes the Hootens Hardware first down.
From the 35-yard line, another running play in there. This one a short gain of about a yard or two. And boy, players from both teams slow. Davis slow to get up. Corsicana player writhing down on the ground. Injury. Timeout for Corsicana. Let's take it here, and we'll be back after this.
And we're back at Tiger Stadium. The Corsicana Tigers up 27-14 over the Wildcats.
Bracian Parrish
was the injured player down.
Big nose guard. I think he's 290 pounds. They helped him off the field. Second down and 9 for the Wildcats, 34-yard line. Wallace fires the ball down the field. It's caught inside the 30. Receiver tackled pretty quickly. That Weston Fields again at the 28-yard line, and that will be 3 yards short of the first down, but hold everything on the flag. You're as bad as Jimmy. Jimmy used to do that to me. I'd be all excited about a play, and he would go, Don, there's a flag. And Chad does the same thing. But I'm glad he does.
They dropped it right on the line over there. It's kind of hard to see from our distance here. It looks like it's going to be against the Wildcats.
No, it's against Corsicana. It's a grabbing of the face guard.
There we go.
Face mask.
So that's an automatic first down.
And that's a big penalty. As the official they stopped, and now he's going to...
Yeah, he's just going to keep on walking.
He walked 10 yards, and he paused, and he said, was that enough? No, I don't think so.
So
all
inside
the way
the
down
red
to
zone.
the 14-yard line, first down and 10 for the Wildcats. And Wallace from the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Fake to the running back. Fires the ball out. It's caught at the 15. Across the 10. Receiver trying to move down the field. Knocked off his feet down around the 8-yard line. 7. So from the 7-yard line.
That Hootens Hardware first down. It gained 6-7 yards on the Zach Tiemeyer connection.
Well, I was just going to say that looked like Zach Tiemeyer. First down and goal to go. No, second down and 3 from the 7-yard line. Wallace will hand off. Davis hits in there. He's down around the 5-yard line. That'll be 1 yard short of the first down. Third down and 1 from the 5-yard line. The Wildcats on the move here. A little over 9 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Wildcats trailing by 13. Here's Davis sweeping to the left. He gets around the corner. Oh, he goes airborne and lands down around the 2-yard line. That is good. Oh, now a flag flies. And at the end of the play, first down and goal from the 2, but hold everything.
Yeah, and that's in the backfield. That's got to be another personal foul.
Well, yeah, a couple of players from each team getting together there, and somebody did something untoward. And the officials will sort it out.
I'm going to guess it's offsetting penalties, Don, just because
that
that's
would
what
be
we've had. That'd be great for us.
That would be a trend tonight, but I don't think I would go that way. But I don't know who it was against. I didn't see what happened. Here's I was watching Davis do the helicopter thing down there.
Yeah, he somersaulted right over that.
The Wildcats are moving backward.
Oh, goodness.
Unsportsmanlike against the Wildcats. Now, that's another play where you would think, unless it's something like a chop block or something like that, but that's got to be something where somebody, as Coach Owen said last Saturday morning, loses their mind.
Right.
Where you just go into an area you should not go in.
So that becomes first and goal. That
just cost the Wildcats. Yeah, now it's first and goal from the 17-yard line. So this is a tough play. So those are the kind of things that you cannot do that kind of stuff. You just can't allow, if a player does something to you, you just cannot retaliate. They always get the second guy. Wallace from the shotgun takes the snap. He's under a duress. He's looking and now sails the ball toward the end zone, up for grabs, and it's incomplete. And, boy, the Wildcats, again, kind of fortunate there. There were one player from each team jumping for the ball, and Corsicana guys, another couple in the area. Probably all things considered an incomplete pass. That's pretty good. Second down and goal now from the 17. And Wallace from the shotgun. Got Zach T-Meyer. Looks like Weston Fields. And they'll try a running play across the 15 and down to around the 11-yard line. Third down and goal coming up.
Caden Davis again on the run.
And it's third and goal from the 11 after Davis picked up 6. And just a saving ankle tackle probably kept that maybe from going to the house. Or at least to the end zone.
Yep. Waiting for the play to come in.
Yeah, looking over there. Look like coaches have some drawings or something. I guess that all means something. Here's back to Wallace. And the whistle blows right at the snap. And so there's only one thing that can happen there, and that's delay a game. Oh, a timeout.
Timeout.
That can happen.
Yep,
so,
Sulphur Springs timeout.
8:17 left here in the fourth quarter. Corsicana 27, Wildcats 14. Back in a moment.
And we're back at Tiger Stadium where the Corsicana Tigers lead the Wildcats 27-14. It's third down and 11, but third and goal. Yeah, third and goal at the 11.
And the Wildcats, two receivers left and right here on this big third down play for Caden Wallace. And again, they'll run with Davis, and Davis trying to break tackles, but he'll get only down to about the 8-yard line. So it's going to be fourth down and goal to go from the 8. And I'm not sure the field goal. That would cut it down to a 10-point lead with 8 minutes left. I think they're just going to go for it here.
Yep, looks like it. Everybody's staying out on the field.
And Coach Owen says, we've got to make this. It's back to Wallace, and again, we get the whistle.
Timeout, looks like.
Timeout. I think Corsicana took this to talk it over. 7:51 left in the fourth quarter. Corsicana 27, Wildcats 14. Let's take a break. Back in a moment.
Back at Tiger Stadium, Corsicana, where the Wildcats have a chance here, Don.
Yes, here we go with fourth down and goal to go from the 7-yard line. Big play, and Corsicana kind of setting their defense now with that timeout. Wallace back in the shotgun. Will take the snap. He's getting a big rush. He rolls to the left. He fires the ball down the field, incomplete. Tried to thread the needle down on the goal line, incomplete. Pretty tight coverage, but he just tried to thread that needle in there and just couldn't quite make the connection. Ball goes over on downs at the 7-yard line. The good news is, if there is any good news, Corsicana has the ball all the way down on their 7-yard line, so they're deep in their own territory.
They're already coming out, getting ready for their drive.
And a nice young quarterback they have here in Solomon James. After that all-world quarterback graduated last year, that Hoffman.
Young in the backfield.
And there's a snap, and they will try Young on the run, and he busted out to the 10-yard line, so it'll be a gain of 3. Second down and 7 for Corsicana at their own 10-yard line. The Wildcats want to bottle them up here and see if they can't get that ball right back. And here come the Tigers. And the snap to James. They'll try another running play. And Young, boy, does he pick his holes well. And he ran for a first down up to the 19-yard line. First and 10 for Corsicana. Did a great job of finding that hole and then running through it. Just a real nice looking, and again, a sophomore running back. And, of course, Daniels with 650 yards this year has not had a big game tonight, but
that puts
4 with over 100 yards in district play.
That puts Young right at 100 yards, and that's with that 20-yard loss that we credited for.
James takes the snap, and they'll try another running play, and this time he cut it right up the middle and will move up to about the 24-yard line. That's a gain of 5. It'll be second and 5 for Corsicana at the 24-yard line. And they would be pretty content to just burn clock and hand off and run and just shorten this game right here ahead by 13 points.
That's what they're doing, 6:23 left in the game.
And James back in the shotgun. The Wildcats want to stifle them right here. And here's a handoff again. Oh, he breaks it outside. He'll run for a while. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and down to the Wildcats' 40-yard line. Huge run. And then a flag
Here comes a flag
flying into everything and around the 40-yard line. And the officials will sort all that out. Again, well after the play was over. And the flag comes flying in there.
About a 36-yard run for Young.
And officials again talking it over down there. Here's the official call, I think. No, he's going to a little bit more talk first. And this will go against Corsicana. Guess they caught a late illegal block or something. Personal foul on Corsicana. So, and it'll move it all the way back to the Wildcats' 45-yard line. So a personal foul at the tail end. It will be a first down, and it is 1st and 10.
Puts them back into Tiger territory.
At their own 45-yard line. So clock is down to 6:07, and Corsicana leads 27-14. Just kind of a workmanlike lead that they have right now. James again from the shotgun takes the snap. Again, they'll try the running play. Gets around the edge, the 50, the 45. Oh, he's going to go for a touchdown. A run for Corsicana all the way to the end zone, and that is Daniels. Day Daniels on the run, and that was a 55-yard touchdown run by Daniels. He's been quiet, but not anymore. That just about deflated everything here in the Tiger Stadium. Makes the task very difficult now as they look to the successful extra point to dial it up to a 20-point lead. And Rodriguez, the kicker for Corsicana. The ball is down. The kick on the way. Chips it in there and right between the uprights. 5:49 left. Here in the fourth quarter, our new score from Tiger Stadium, the Corsicana Tigers 34 and the Sulphur Springs Wildcats 14. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
And back at Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, the Wildcats are back to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. J. Hodge Chevrolet, home with a $100 discount, which that's for each touchdown the Wildcats score, which has been 2. That's good for $200 off any new or used vehicle on the J. Hodge Chevrolet lot tomorrow. Here come the Tigers to kick off, and back to receive for the Wildcats.
Probably Sims and Davis. It's a short kick, and it'll be taken fair caught by Campbell Cody.
Yep.
And I didn't know Campbell was left-handed. He just fired a left-handed pass to one of the officials. First down and 10 for the Wildcats at the 34-yard line, and you talked about those $100 discounts.
Yep.
Time for the Wildcats to add to that.
They need to add another discount. They need to come on. They're down by 20.
Yeah.
5:49 left in the ball game.
Dietrich Clayton is in as one of the receivers. 2 receivers up top for Caden Wallace. First and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 34. And Wallace back to pass. He'll throw to the running back across the 30, across the 35, and out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Caden Davis.
Yep.
And that's a gain of 5. It'll be second down and 5 for the Wildcats. It does stop the clock with 5:42 left here in the fourth quarter. Again, Corsicana up by 20 at 34-14.
Lacey on the other side of the receive.
Wallace takes the snap on the running play for the Wildcats. He breaks clean across the 45 and then loses his feet at the 48-yard line. Again, Caden Davis. Boy, he was kind of in a scrum there. Looked like a rugby scrum and then came bouncing out of there. First down and 10 for the Wildcats.
Boots Hardware first down.
Corsicana, 47-yard line. And another running play for Davis. So he did a good job of evading the first tackler. Moves to the 49-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7 from the Corsicana 49-yard line.
They've got third down on our nice down marker, but that's not correct. Now they've changed it to second down.
Davis will take a couple of plays off, and the always exciting J.J. Hall is in there running back. And Wallace scrambling around back there looking. Now throw the ball and just kind of send it into the sideline as he was tackled, but too late for a sack, but they did knock him off his feet. And an incomplete pass, and so it'll be third down and 6 needed for the Wildcats at the 49-yard line. Let's call it 7.
They're in Tiger territory, right past the 50 onto the 49 Tiger territory.
And once again, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for Caden Wallace. Takes a snap, back in the pocket. He will sail it down the field, incomplete. Through a receiver's hands down there.
Number 22,
tried to get to Meskimen, Landry Meskimen, and incomplete.
He was well covered.
It was a high pass. He had to reach up for it, but Wallace has a lot of faith in his ability to put that ball in there. Incomplete. Fourth down now. Again, the Wildcats will go for this 4th and 7 from that 49-yard line that Chad mentioned.
Just Myers comes in.
Of Corsicana territory. And J.J. Hall, the running back, next to Wallace. But nobody snapped the ball, and so a Corsicana guy came in there and dumped the big Sulphur Springs right tackle. Or it was a right guard, I think. I think it was Olavide. Offensive linemen hate when that happens. But the ball was not snapped, so they'll have to see which way it's going to go. And hear the indication. We'll have to describe it to you. You can't hear it. No more than you can hear the band at halftime.
Well, so they're backing it up against the Wildcats.
Illegal procedure. And so it's now 4th down and 12. And the ball is back at the 46-yard line in Wildcats territory. So a little bit higher hill to climb here. 4:50 still left in the 4th quarter. Wildcats trailing 34-14. Wallace back in the pocket. Sails it down the field and incomplete. Tried to get it into Bryson Lacey. And incomplete pass. The ball goes over on downs. And I wrote OD on my pad several times here in the second half. As the Wildcats have gambled and gone for it, trying to make something happen, but it's just not happening for them tonight as they trail Corsicana 34-14. Maybe that next week we get the biggest surprise team in the district, the Greenville Lions. I don't know if they can hang on and win tonight, but wow, they're playing great football. Here's Corsicana now. James again, the quarterback, handing off the running back, getting around the corner and gaining a lot of yards. Will gain the first down all the way to the Wildcat 35. And that was Young.
Not a big surprise there.
Yeah, Young has gotten old tonight. He's matured.
Greenville is now trailing Roy City 14-17. Greenville 14, Roy City 17 in the 4th quarter. I don't have the time left.
I'll tell you what, Greenville, you give them a chance at the end, they may just pull that one out. Here's another running play for Young, and he's straightforward, padding his stats down to the 28-yard line. That's 3 yards short of the first down. It'll be second down and 3. Enjoyed talking to Hal Wasson this week, the coach of Corsicana. Talked to a man that has been around that old song, I've been everywhere. He's coached everywhere, it seemed like. And now here's Young on another run there. The Wildcats, he gets loose. He's across the 20 and down all the way to the 17. If you don't secure a tackle on Young, he will just keep on running. He'll run right through you. And that's what he did that time. First down and 10 for the Tigers. 3:39 left on the clock. But they seem like they want more points. They're like Oliver. They want more.
Puts Young over 165 yards rushing for the total yards for the game.
Wow, that is a big. I would have expected Daniels to have that.
Yeah.
And here's back to James and another handoff, and Young around the corner. And instead of running out of bounds, he keeps heading toward the goal line and gets knocked down around the 7. So first and goal for the Tigers at the 7-yard line. And that's a play where instead of taking Dion's business decision to run out of bounds, he turns it upfield and gained probably another 5 yards or so. Very impressive night for that young man. And once again, James, the quarterback, will take the snap. He'll try Young again. He ran right into a tackler, and he ran through the tackle, but finally wrapped up at the 10-yard line. Wildcats had so many tacklers that time. Meskimen's in there on defense. Dominique Sims, part of that. I was trying to see which player that got an initial contact, but that slowed things up. But down at the 11, it'll be second and goal from the 11-yard line. Still 2:20 left in the game, and Corsicana does not look like they want to take the knee. They want another score. And back to James, and here's a running play around the corner. Wildcats said, we've seen that. And this time they stopped the runner at about the 8-yard line. But again, it looked like he was going to be stopped at the 9 or the 10. He ends up at the 8. A good job of Young running tonight as the clock goes under 2 minutes. And it is third down and goal for Corsicana. They run a lot of plays. They've gained, after a couple of plays, they've gained 1 yard.
Another game of interest. Mount Vernon over Atlanta 42-7 in the fourth quarter.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I said they were the
surprise
best,
you.
Said they were the best team in the district. I may have to defer to Jefferson. And here's a running play and another good play by Landry Meskimen. My goodness. That young man's playing some great defense out there. And it'll be fourth down and goal from the 6. And again, Corsicana not inclined to try a field goal or anything. They want 6. So the clock just over 1 minute to play here, and Corsicana going for the points here. They're up by 20. Maybe they think tiebreaker and all that kind of stuff later on. They figure that'll be important. And here's a young Noah fake and kept by James into the end zone. Touchdown Corsicana with 47 seconds left. And that stings for some people to think that they're running up the score and some of that kind of stuff. Because, in a 20-point victory, you wonder how necessary that is. I tell you what, as a coach, you would remember that. And if you ever get a chance to avenge that, they certainly will. Because in my opinion, that's running up the score. There's absolutely no reason for that. I just editorialized, and my name's Don Julia. There's a kick on the extra point, and the kick is good. 47 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and a new score here, Corsicana 41, the Wildcats 14. Let's take a break. Back in a moment.
And back at Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, the Wildcats back to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff.
Here's a kick. It's kind of sent down the field. Fair catch called for, and again made by Campbell Cody. What'd you call him? Cody Campbell. you pulled a former basketball coach referred to his brother as Cody Kane. And did that for some time, and then I'm sure somebody said, Coach, his name is Kane Cody.
That's right.
And Cody Roberts would tell you that pretty quickly. Old Cody Robert over there. And
Wildcats come out for
Cody Stacy. Don't forget him.
Yes, Stacy. I know them all. Stewart. Yep.
Yeah. Cody Stewart. All those. That was Campbell.
You got it backwards. Yeah.
And once again, the Wildcats now, and they'll run the ball. And J.J. Hall into the secondary. Nice run, J.J. One of the smaller players on the field. And J.J. runs all the way to the 43, gains almost 10 yards. And they'll move the chains. Nice run by J.J. Hall. He started out as a JV player, but you kept seeing that blue jersey in with those white varsity jerseys. And Hall got the carry again. He's to the 44. That's a gain of 1. And saw J.J. seemed like maybe in a scrimmage or something to score a touchdown.
28 seconds left.
And so this one just about over here. Corsicana leading 41-14. And a fake, and there's a pass. It's caught at the 40 by Campbell Cody. And he will be knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line, just 8 seconds. And, well, they're going to just let the clock roll off here. And that's going to be the end of the ball game. As they said, Cody did not get out of bounds for some reason. Maybe they just got tired of officiating. I don't know.
Maybe.
But that's the end of this one. And, that meaningless touchdown just kind of really leaves gall in my throat. I just don't see any reason why that was necessary. And, of course, the answer is, hey, if you don't want us to run up the score, you stop us on defense.
Right.
So I understand that, too, but it just seems totally unnecessary. But it is what it is, as David Carrillo would tell you rapidly. So that's the end of this one, and it's Corsicana 41, the Wildcats 14. Wildcats 1-4 in district play. They still have 3 district games left, and they sure would like to run the table to end up the season at 4-4 and see where the chips fly, and to see if they can figure out a way into that last playoff spot. But that's going to do it. Greenville next. That'll be in the Hall of Honor. That's going to be a huge honor. I look forward to. I mean, I don't know the players from way back when in Sulphur Springs history. Some of them I do, but boy, it'll be great to see Tyreek Rollison and Jace Jackson and put into the Hall of Honor. The first 2 guys from the state team, and then Cody Payne, that big basketball player from the 90s. And unfortunately, I've got the other name here somewhere.
It's from the 50s, and that gentleman's deceased, I believe. But, a great honor for his family to come and receive that Hall of Honor award.
Paul Wesley Buchanan.
Thank you.
Class of 53.
Yes. And that's going to do it for us from Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, where unfortunately the Wildcats fall to the Tigers 41-14. Thanks for sticking with us through this one. And thanks to everybody that helps us put this on, not only all of our sponsors, but of course James Terry back at the station, manning the board and making it all happen for us. You can catch a replay of this game on Channel 18 as soon as Doug Hastings gets get it all edited down. And then, of course, the Coaches Show tomorrow morning on KSST 12:30 a.m. That's going to do it from us. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back at the Prim next Friday, 7:30, against Greenville. James, back to you.